But let's finish up with Nightline last night doing a profile on yours truly. Now they shift into, hey, the world is in trouble, Alex says, but he is happy about life. So, see, things really aren't as bad as he says. So now they're going back to, does Alex really mean what he's saying, or is it a stick? When I gave them all the information on every subject I covered. Let's go back to it.
Downright ebullient about his wife and their 3 young children.
So your son knows the word propaganda?
Yes.
A 7-year-old.
All right, hit pause.
That's what happened.
It's implied there that it's bad if your 7-year-old knows the word propaganda. Wow. Remember when the CPS took Barry Cooper's son? And they put in the Williamson County order to take him? The father had taught the, 6-7-year-old not to trust the government. So, oh my gosh, his son, pretty soon, this person's child knows how to talk. This person's child knows who Thomas Jefferson is. Holy mackerel. This is incredible. And so the message is, then I go on and say, I teach my son to question everything, and that everybody has an agenda. So, Alex has an agenda, as if having an agenda is bad. No, my agenda's out in the open. I'm naked about what I do. Let's continue.
When you're Alex Jones's son.
I mean, the most important thing is he knows everybody has an agenda, including myself.
All I'm calling for is a real investigation. And the people of Oklahoma City have been calling for an investigation.
Jones, who's 36, got his start with a local cable access show in the 1990s. He now has a huge fan base, which includes celebrities like Willie Nelson, Jesse Ventura, Charlie Sheen.
We want our country back, Mr. President. I'm calling on each and every American citizen to wake up, stand up, and demand the truth.
And Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag.
Spencer Pratt, good to have you on. All right, applause.
Thank you.
We've had hundreds of celebrities on this broadcast. They contacted me to say they'd become Christian and love the Lord and wanted to expose the New World Order. They know that Spencer and Heidi are unpopular with many people, so it's another guilt by association. Let's continue.
So much. I'm so honored to be on with you. You are a true legend, a true American patriot.
Do you think there's some percentage of the people who watch you who do it for entertainment value?
A very low percentage, but we have heard that before.
While he admits that some people may watch him purely for entertainment, he says the real reason for his recent growth is that the public increasingly mistrusts government.
There's a scientific dictatorship controlling the planet.
However, Jones sometimes seems to latch onto small pieces of information to prove his much larger, more sinister theory.
We've been warning you.
For example, while we're here, he says this about an article he found on CNN.com.
And they recommend having a one-child policy.
And I looked up the article, and I have it, and I can pull it up for you. It's actually a fluffy feature piece interviewing a woman who wrote a semi-jokey book about having environmentally friendly sex, in which she talks about dating
and
on your
bicycle. And then slipped in there, it says we might want a one-child policy or to adopt.
But it was a sarcastic little aside, not like the CNN.
See, it's all sarcastic. But see, we've gone from there's no move for a world government, it doesn't exist, nuts talk about it, to you can't prove the world government that's being formed is murderous.
I'm not even granting you that there's a world government being formed.
Yeah, and that's why you're discredited.
Do you think sometimes you work yourself up into a lather on the show where you might sort of overstate your case slightly?
Certainly I've overstated the case sometimes, but more often than not, in hindsight, it comes out and it's far worse than I'd even thought.
New World Order scum, we are not your slaves!
He says he actually hates his job and would love to...
We're going to come back and conclude this, but I gave him 4 articles that day with the media promoting one-child policy. You see it everywhere. You can't miss it. That was my point. And he took 1 article of 4 that day and implied it was a joke. It wasn't a joke. It wasn't a joke. So see how it's amazing. 50,000 unstoppable watts. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so they end the piece with saying, come on, admit that you overstate things sometimes. And I go, well, of course. Sometimes we say things are worse and later find out they weren't as bad as we thought. But most of the time, it's worse than we stated. And that's the truth. And we've always pointed that out here. And we're wrong about something, we point it out. But we try to tell the truth. We try to be accurate. And we have one of the best records of being accurate out there with the trends and the societal movements and things that are going to happen. Just like I told you a year ago that they were saving the naked body scans. That wasn't even my opinion. I mean, when's government lying? When their lips are moving, 95%, 99%, depending on the, I mean, it's over 90%. You've experienced that yourself. But I didn't just go off that and say they're saving the images because I didn't trust them. It was in, and we posted the articles with the Homeland Security directives going back 2 years ago. So a year before I reported this, it was available that they tune the naked body scanners to be able to know that they can see your genitals. That's how they know they've got the detail they want. That's in the handbook. And that they save them. And now it's come out they lied and are saving them, and they are having mobile vans and federal and state courthouses like we told you they would do. I read think tanks 3-4 years ago promoting how they were going to roll them out on the streets. They've got these big mobile centers that they're going to put at the sports stadiums and for rock events and music events and operas that they're going to force you through. We've shown the industry promo videos. We've shown Homeland Security promoting taser bracelets. And people are like, my gosh, 2 years after you reported on that, the news was promoting taser bracelets. How did you know? Because it was admitted. The industries always tell you what they're going to do years before they go lobby the government to give them billions of dollars to buy this crud. But I'm already digressing. The point that I'm making here is that we were right about the naked body scanners. We were right about all of this. Just like the media is hyping one-child policy and how it's good for your carbon footprint. And he's denying that that's even being promoted. What I said on the air is they're promoting naked body scanners everywhere. That's when I said on air. I said on the show that they were promoting one-child policies everywhere. That's when I said on air. I didn't say there was one article that proved it. I said, here's 4 today showing how they're promoting it. But they took everything out of context to make it look like I was just making it up. All right, I got a guest coming up in a moment on the naked body scanners and how to try to defeat them and the fraud of their making you submit to having your privacy violated. But let's finish up with the Nightline piece. Here it is.
The case sometimes, but more often than not, in hindsight, it comes out and it's far worse than I'd even thought.
New World Order scum, we are not your slaves.
He says he actually hates his job and would love to stop his show. If only the bankers would be put in jail, the federal government made smaller, and all corrupt wars ended.
You are criminals. You control the
But he says he doesn't see any of those things happening anytime soon. Until then, he says, it is his duty to shake America out of its trance.
Our good friends at Nightline.
For Nightline, this is Dan Harris in Austin, Texas.
Okay, and they show me joking around. I went on to say, I know you're doing a hit piece. I know you work for the globalists, but they took that out of context, so I'd look goofy. And he said, what do you want to go away? And I said, abolish the Federal Reserve, arrest the Goldman Sachs executives and others that created the fraud of derivatives. He boils it down to arrest the bankers so that a bank manager at a local bank thinks I want to arrest them. And then end corrupt wars. So just pure deception, pure propaganda. What an education on so many levels. Now,